Stuckity-bitty-bim, sickity-bitty-bim-today. It's coming to go banana.
So, I don't know. What is up, Flick fans? Welcome back to my channel, Minions!
I'm having a bad day.
Rise of Gru is coming to theaters this week, and we're going to talk about it in today's video. Are you all a fan of the Despicable Me franchise? Which is your favorite film? And are you looking forward to this one? Let's do it. So, a fanboy of a supervillain group known as the Vicious Six, Gru hatches a plan to become evil enough to join them with the backup of his followers, the Minions. Starting with the rating, it's of course rated PG for some action and violence. Also rude humor, but nothing the kids can't handle. Honestly, it's like the best movie to take your kids to so far this summer because that's what it's trying to do. It's trying to heavily appeal to that audience with one joke or one line every now and then that adults can at least kind of giggle or maybe chuckle at. That's kind of what I needed a Minions standalone movie to be, because the first film that we got, it feels like forever ago. I was interested in the idea, but oftentimes when you take these side characters, put them at the forefront, it doesn't work. And personally, I don't think the first Minions movie worked. I thought it was too loud. Does that sound like a lazy criticism? Maybe so, but the plot just felt so disjointed, and the story really didn't veer into what we love about that Despicable Me charm that those three movies have. I'm not the biggest fan of the third, but the first two at least, they are really, really fun. And this film, there are fun and charming elements to it, and sitting in a theater surrounded by kids and then me by myself in the back row, I try to get my wife to go with me. Everybody's like, who's that man watching Minions? Listen, it's Minions. Only the most sophisticated people can watch and appreciate Minions, and that's what I was there for. But everyone was laughing throughout the entire film. The gags and the classic, Looney Tunes-esque jokes and moments and playing on that physical humor that the Minions do so well when they are the side characters, that is present in this film. And even though they probably get more screen time than your Gru, clearly Minions is the name of the movie, so they're not going to be side characters in this film. This time around, there is another storyline that I actually gravitated towards, and that is the upbringing of Gru. Gru just wants to be a supervillain. We know that. We've known that for some time. But there's this mission he needs to go on. He needs help from someone. Who better than the Minions? And then he finds himself encountering his idol, his villainous icon, and gets to spend some time there, and there's a nice little relationship that forms, and you can see where the relationship's going 1,000 miles away, and honestly, when we get to the culmination of everything at the end of this film, I was kind of like, well, I knew exactly where it was going to go, how these characters were going to end up. I guess there's one nice little twist that turns into a nod at the end, and there's this big battle of sorts that I just wasn't really all that invested in. So, part of me wishes they could give a Minions movie a more compelling story to start with. The Gru stuff, it works. But what the Minions are doing, their mission, their journey, it's very simple, but they try to overcomplicate it. Because of the fact that it is overcomplicated, they go off on this side mission involving Kung Fu, and it just felt so random as I was watching it. I'm like, I see why you did it. Anytime you can bring in Michelle Yeoh, yeah, you're going to take that opportunity and do it. And the voice cast in general is actually really good in this film. Taraji P. Henson is solid. Pierre Coffin providing the voices of the Minions. Alan Arkin in this movie is really good. Russell Brand is back. Dolph Lundgren in this film. But Steve Carell as Gru, even though the voice is obviously going to be slightly modulated, there is a genuine compassion for this character, and you can tell that is the case. And while the journey is conventional and adults are going to be sitting there knowing exactly what it's going to be, at least the story was divided into two parts that were each slightly more compelling than I expected them to be. I do wish there was more to the Minions story, and I wish they wouldn't have gotten off track like they did at a point in the film, but the movie is geared towards kids, and as long as parents aren't sitting there miserable, and in my screening, no one really seemed miserable. We were all kind of chuckling and giggling throughout the film. That's what the film's purpose is, and I believe it accomplishes that goal. It's not one that's going to stick with me for a long time. I don't know if I'll ever revisit it personally, but if I have kids down the line, I'm more likely to watch this one than the first. That's for sure. Before I give you my score, how do you feel about the Despicable Me franchise, and how would you rank the movies? Who is your favorite character from all of the films? It moves at a brisk pace, and the slapstick-centric humor will work well for kids. It is predictable, but it does its job by hitting that target audience. I am going a 60% with my score. I believe this is serviceable in every way. I got some chuckles at the end of the day, and if you want to support this video, be sure to drop that thumbs up down below. I appreciate it, as does the algorithm. Go back on my channel, check out my reaction earlier this morning for Thor: Love and Thunder. It's a YouTube short, so you may have missed it. All right, guys, I'll see you soon.